Welcome to the official podcast of Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to this podcast and follow Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi on all your favorite social media apps. Now, on with the show!
Hey, you comic book geeks, sci-fi freaks. Comic Book Casey is still here. Free Comic Book Day at State of Comics in beautiful downtown Plymouth. And I finally got him to sit still long enough to talk with me. This is the owner of State of Comics. This is my man Ryan, who takes very good care of us every time any of us come here off camera. So Ryan, why don't you tell us a little something about the tradition of Free Comic Book Day?
So it's obviously a nationwide event. Most people do it, but we like to do it a little bit bigger. We want to bring education into it a lot more than your typical shop. We really focus on that. But we also like to make it fun. We got a celebrity here this time. We get other businesses involved and stuff. So we want to make it a big bang.
Oh, it is. And I tell you, this is my third time coming here for Free Comic Book Day. And I tell you, it never fails to, just amaze with food options, just the energy of the crowd. You got the lines going. And I know we talked the other day on the phone and you were concerned about if it rained. I'm like, dude, everyone's coming regardless of rain because we love it here. So, you got Ethan Page here for, it's great, man. So now how long have you, let's give a shout out to State of Comics. Let's talk a little bit about the history of you starting this business. How long has this been going on for you?
So, we've been in business over 8 years. We launched online originally in February 2017, and it just took off over the first 6 months. So we decided we went and opened a storefront. We really liked Plymouth just because of the fact of the walking traffic. And we know that comic lovers and TCG players and anyone who's into this sort of thing, it's a destination. So they're going to go there. They're going to check out all the shops. You're going to come here. You're going to go to Big Ben's. You're going to go to Comic City. So we wanted somewhere we could really bring people into the medium that aren't involved. And that's why we chose Plymouth, because we want to have your everyday person walking by who's not super familiar with comics and stuff. And we can bring them into this world and show them how awesome it is. And, obviously they can escape from the regular world and dive into, 60 to 80 years worth of superheroes and stuff like that. So, that's why we chose here, and we opened here in October of 2017. So we're going on 8 years now.
This is a great location because that's very important with business. Location, location, location. It's a great downtown location, and parking is actually really good. They have very good parking options that aren't that expensive, or some of them are free.
Yeah.
And also you said something that's near and dear to me about bringing people that aren't accustomed to this genre or this lifestyle that we love and crave. Mm-hmm. I'm going to reveal the fact that I probably brought about 3 or 4 different dates here.
That's awesome.
Because it's places to eat and drink in downtown Plymouth. Yeah. And I tell them I got to make my stop here. I stop in here, and guess what? I've introduced them to something different.
Yeah.
And they realize how cool it is. So yeah, man, I've probably had at least 4 different girls buy me some comic books from here.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think it's great having the opportunity to really expand people into a market that they know nothing about or little about. And that's something that's really cool because you have so much pop culture in TV and stuff, and a lot of that has translated from comics to TV, and a lot of people don't know that. It shows like Umbrella Academy and stuff like that, where those were originally comics, and a lot of people don't know that. So introducing them to that, it kind of opens up their eyes to seeing that comics aren't just, a lot of people have this vision that comics are for kids, when majority of our actual comic buyers are probably adults.
It's a $1 billion business.
But we want to expand that with stuff like Dog Man, and with the movie coming out, I think that's a big game changer. And Scholastic's been huge, and it's been really great for us. So we want to keep expanding on that, and we want to get kids reading too, so we can continue and not shrink the market, but continue to grow it.
I'm glad you said that, because I was speaking with one of your regular diehard customers earlier today, and he was saying how comic books actually benefited him because he had ADD. And when his mom bought him his first encyclopedia-sized comic book, it really helped get him focused on reading more. And I told him, yeah, this is something I've done also for friends of mine that had kids as well with ADD or just didn't like to read. You buy them the DC or the Marvel encyclopedias, and man, it worked wonders for these kids.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's great. A lot of kids have trouble with comprehension or just staying focused, and comics get them to do that. And there's actually Harvard studies that have talked about how graphic novels and comic books really do help with the comprehension in reading. So it's great to get kids in early, and it's something to get them excited about versus, like chapter books or whatever it may be. So graphic novels are a great introduction. And I think Dav Pilkey has been probably the pioneer for kids with he's got the dragon books, he's got his cat dog, he's got Dog Man. So Scholastic has really been a frontier for us in expanding to get kids into it, and we've really kind of dived into that big time this year. So and hopefully we can continue to do that.
And another thing you touched on, the fact that a lot of people tend to disregard comic books thinking it's just for kids. Okay, well, I got news for you, ladies and gentlemen. It's a billion-dollar business. You would not have the movies of the Avengers and Iron Man, Captain America, Spider-Man, the Hulk, Wolverine, and Deadpool. You wouldn't have any of those Justice League, Batman movies without the comic books that created it, that started all of it. You find where all of that stuff, all the movies a lot of you go to originated at you were able to find out about these characters at stores just like this one. You actually might buy a book from State of Comics, and 10, 20 years later, it's a movie. So bear in mind, comic book stores are a treasure.
Yeah, we actually had seen some cross on that, which is great. When the movies come out, I mean, obviously the Marvel movies are so far off base where the stories are in the comics. They still pull from them, but they're loosely based around them. But we still get people coming all the time, and it's great because it's, oh, hey, Secret Wars is coming up. Do you have that? And we'll say, yeah, well, and we'll kind of explain it to them. Yeah, well, the rumor is that the Secret Wars movie is going to be based on the one from 2015. And so we'll recommend that, which is a great read, by the way. So we'll be able to the movies are an introduction, and it does get people to the comic book store. Although I wish Marvel would do a little bit better when advertising the movies, and DC's been shown to do that over the recent years. With Suicide Squad, starting with Suicide Squad, it's, hey, visit your local comic shop for more stories. And I don't care if they come here. I don't care if they go to Meijer, a grocery store. We just want more kids reading comic books, so. And
you're absolutely right. I think that the movie industry owes it to comic book stores and any outlets that sell comic books to give a little bit more acknowledgement and say, go to your local comic book store, go to your local retailer that sells the comic books, because we have people that are trying to come after they see the movie. Yep. They're coming after the fact the comic book stores to buy the books. But I'll give you guys another helpful hint. If you already have some of these books and all of a sudden a character appears in a movie, that book you might have at home sitting in a cabinet or in a storage room somewhere, the value of that book might increase automatically just because that character you just saw in a movie made an appearance, and they were in a book that was made from 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's extremely important to the market right now. It's very hit or miss because sometimes they spike up and then they drop instantly. But it all depends on how well they do the character.
Well, so when Adam Warlock made his appearance on Guardians of the Galaxy, I started searching for all my books to see if I could find the first appearance of Adam Warlock.
Yeah, when they showed him in it was the post-credit scene, I think, of Guardians 1. There was a lot of buzz. That book spiked a lot, and then he's a great character example is when he came out, it didn't really translate, and his books dropped a lot. But we've seen the opposite happen with certain characters. So
Star Fox, because when Harry Styles made an appearance, in the Eternals as Star Fox, I thought for sure that's gonna just draw in a whole big fan base of Harry Styles music fans into the comic book world.
It should have. I don't think it necessarily did. It's not an A character, it's not an A-list character. So, I think that's tough too because Eternals was not a very well received movie. So, there's always going to be contributing factors like that.
You got fans that don't care about the movie; they just care about him, and they figured that. I just figured that might have caught their interest to say, "Let me see about this character that he actually portrayed."
Yeah, I wish that was the case for us. I can't speak from our experience. We didn't see a jump in people coming in asking for it. Dazzler, on the other hand, when there was rumors about Taylor Swift, it went crazy. It went crazy. People were buying up books and flipping them immediately, and you had a lot
I
of.
would do the same.
Yeah. So I think it very much depends on the character, and it also depends on who the person. Yeah. So whereas in Taylor Swift, we saw a huge jump, but I didn't as much with Harry Styles. So, but again, also you're talking about
song about him, so that probably hurt him a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But you're also talking about X-Men versus Eternals. So, although Jack Kirby's Eternals is a great read, the movie didn't translate over well.
Yeah, you make a valid point that sometimes the movies don't do the original books justice. It breaks away from the origin, which is upsetting to diehard comic book collectors and fans. But we still go support the movie anyway.
Yeah, always. I've never been one who's been, there's a movie coming out, Sony's doing it, it's Venom, I don't want to see it, it's going to be bad, or Morbius. I'll watch them all.
Yeah, me too. I mean, in fact, I'm going to, go see Thunderbolts probably tonight or tomorrow. And I'm hearing great things about it, fortunately, so I'm excited to see it. But there have been movies I haven't been that excited to see, but I'm going to go see it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, people hated on Batman versus Superman, but, we got to see Batman fight Superman, so who cares how good the movie was?
Exactly. I mean, a lot of us have been waiting our entire lives to go from watching cartoons to see real people portray these characters. And if you're like me, you probably already have in mind what actors and actresses you would prefer to see play certain superhero or villain character roles.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we need Alan Ritchson to be Batman. We need it.
Yeah, I like that. I like that pick, but I always wanted Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, to play Submariner.
Yeah, I think that the actors could have swapped. The guy, the actor, I'm not sure his name, that played Submariner, could have been Black Adam, and The Rock could have been Namor.
I thought the same thing, and
I think Luke Evans would have been a better choice for Namor. He's just got that look.
Yeah, he'd have to buff up a little bit, definitely. I mean, but and that's one of the games me and the guys barbershop talk. Which actor can play which role and everything else. I mean, but I'm proud of the fact that I nailed it with Jeremy Renner. I'm a huge Jeremy Renner fan. I said Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye before it actually happened.
That's awesome. Well, hopefully he comes back. I know there's rumors he might not because of they're offering him half the salary for season 2. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully Disney can work it out and we can get him back, but I'm sure it'll happen.
Disney, you got the money. Keep Renner happy, okay? That's not a guy you give up on. That's not a guy you try to half-ass his salary. Jeremy Renner is worth every penny, okay?
Agreed.
Don't make me pick it outside of Disney for Jeremy Renner, because I will do that.
We just need the Avengers back.
We do need the Avengers back. Thunderbolts is going to be great, but we do want some Avengers back. I want Black Widow to come back to life. I want Tony Stark back as Iron Man, not so much Dr. Doom.
Hey, maybe he's not actually Doom. Maybe he's just Iron Man, and they're throwing us for left field. Who knows?
Crossover universe appeal.
You just never really know with Marvel now. I feel like after Infinity War, it's fair game for anything at this point.
And we know from DC, you got Earth 1, Earth 2, you got Earth 1 through all the way through Earth 30. They borrow superheroes from other Earths and bring them to the Earth that they want them to be useful in.
Yeah. I'm hopeful July, though, is going to be great. We got Fantastic Four and Superman. Both look fantastic, pun intended. I'm really, really excited for both those movies.
I am, too, because the Fantastic Four movie franchise has been struggling. They have yet to really – I liked the other two with Rise of the Silver Surfer. I liked it all, but I just didn't like how they did Galactus.
Yeah, he was just a cloud pretty much.
Yeah, it was a cloud shadow. But, again, the Fantastic Four movie franchise just hasn't taken off the way it should. But I'm hoping this one will be the one that actually puts it over the top.
I think it will. Galactus looks great already. And I think that's a big part of it. Obviously, we got Shia LaBeouf, but and people want, the real Silver Surfer. We'll probably get him, I imagine. We'll see what happens. The movie looks like it's going to be great. And I know they're going to converge at some point with the main continuity. So I'm excited for it. And I hope it drives a ton of people into the store. Same with the Superman stuff. But you know how Superman people are.
Exactly. All too well. But I tell you what, though, I'm hoping that some of these movies will do great, and I'm hoping that State of Comics will continue to do great, especially with Free Comic Book Day. This is our second year in a row filming here. I'm looking forward to just, coming here constantly. I'm still going to bring my dates here occasionally.
That's fair. Fair.
Just don't let any of your guys.
Heads up next time. We'll hide some roses.
Don't let your guys say, good to see you again, okay? Because that gets me in trouble.
For sure.
So, yeah, talk to your staff, man, okay?
I'll give them a heads up.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so definitely, any of you watching, come out to State of Comics in downtown Plymouth after you check out your comic books, check out the free ones, get some free comic books, buy some comic books, then get something to eat. There's plenty of food options in the area. And downtown Plymouth was your choice. Is it close to home?
Yeah, I live like an 8-minute walk.
Oh, you're living the dream, man.
Yeah,
you're living the dream.
I got rid of the second car because I can walk to work. It's awesome.
You're living the dream. You're close. You're walking to a great place like this. I mean, God, man, I wish I were you right now.
Living the dream.
There you go. Okay, well, this is Comic Book Casey from Comic Experience Sci-Fi signing off from State of Comics, downtown Plymouth, Free Comic Book Day today. Get on out here, y'all.
Lolly Petty once again with Comic Experience Sci-Fi. I'm here with Garrett today. Garrett, it looks like you got your free comics.
Yeah, I got a ton. I picked up 3 really rad ones. I got Star Wars, which is awesome. Godzilla, which is,
Classic.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. And it's a pretty rad cover as well. Energon Universe, which I don't know much about. It looks like it's Transformers related, but also pretty dope cover. And then for $2 more, or for $1 more, you get 2 more. So I picked up a couple horror titles. So Blood and Monsters, and then my girlfriend got a couple. She got Black Mirror, San Junipero, which is like a really awesome episode of the show. And then a couple kid ones. You got some Minecraft, because that's topical, right? And then and Hulk Teach. And then we picked up some Frankenstein, because we're big Frankenstein folks, and we're going to frame these.
Those are really beautiful.
Yeah, they're pretty rad.
Yeah, I really like the flower Frankenstein. That is so cool. Yeah.
Not a juxtaposition, but like I don't know. It just makes me think of the movie, but the colors are rad. Yeah. And that one's really awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I love those. I'm going to have to get me some comic books too. So how long have you been doing Free Comic Book Day?
Oh my gosh. I can't probably since, I would say I was 13, really. I think that's maybe when I got into it, when Motor City Comic Con really started back at the Novi Expo Center.
Yeah.
Way back in the day, I used to go there. And then that's kind of what really got me into it. This is like a gateway drug into the whole thing. You know what I mean? So I think it's rad that they even offer something like this to get, free comics. Like the kids that were in front of us were freaking out because they got to see all that stuff that they wanted to pick out. And it's free. You know what I mean? So it's rad.
Can't beat free.
No, not at all. Yeah, absolutely.
So are you a regular here at State of Comics?
Yeah, we usually come by every once in a while. Live in Canton, so it's not too far. Yeah, just kind of peruse, see what they got. The back issues usually is what I like to go for. A lot of the old titles.
So what is your favorite comic?
I think I'm somewhat non-traditional in that, it's not really superhero stuff. I really like Why the Last Man by Brian K. Vaughan. My girlfriend loves Saga, which is rad. Hack Slash by Tim Seeley was really good. Ex Machina was awesome. The Walking Dead back in the day, I think before the show, that was a really big one for me. Yeah.
Did you watch the show after reading the comic?
I did. I only watched up to the 3rd season, though.
Okay. Because I hear they're really different.
Yeah, and then it kind of, it started being different when you were watching it up until then anyway. And then I kind of fell out of it. Tried to pick it back up, but couldn't really get into it.
I totally feel you. I watched a little bit of it, but
yeah.
They had a couple Walking Dead issues over there. I think they might be used, but I'm in that section.
I don't
so
have them. Yeah, I'll have to take a look.
Might as well take a look. Well, are you going to be at Motor City Comic Con?
Yeah, we're thinking about it. We're thinking about going Saturday. It's like a really awesome kind of time for dorks and nerds because you've got Star Wars Day, Free Comic Book Day, and Motor City Comic Con all kind of falling into a 2-week period. So yeah, we'll definitely probably be going on Saturday.
Exciting times around here. We will be there all weekend, so hopefully we see you again, Garrett.
Right, absolutely.
Thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Have a great comic book day.
Absolutely, free comic.
Lolly Petty back with Comic Experience Sci-Fi here at Free Comic Book Day at State of Comics. I'm here with Julie, a.k.a. Wonder Woman, and Dirk, a.k.a. Yeah. I almost said Dumbledore, and I knew it was Gandalf. So we have brother and sister here. Who's older? Dirk? Okay. And who's been cosplaying longer? All right, so you showed her the way.
Yes, I did.
That's cool. Do you make your own costumes?
Mine has been accumulated from the last 20 years. I get it from Weta Workshop, the people that made the movie of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. So these are authentic, realistic, from Weta. I first started the staff, then I got the hat, and then I got rid of the fake beard and let it grow. But all this is like this sheep's wool is from the sheep on New Zealand. It's specially made that they used in the movie. So
that created all that, the costumes and that. He got that from them. Everything he's got right there.
just working out
Line cinema.
everything a little bit at a time.
That is really cool. And what's your backstory on your costume? Not as exciting, huh?
No, not as exciting. Mine, I have 5 different costumes of Wonder Woman. This is one of them. And since it's a little cool today, I did a marathon, Wonder Woman marathon, and it came with this lovely warm coat. So, yeah, I have accumulation. I have a Wonder Woman room. I've been collecting Wonder Woman comics since 1970, since I was 10. So there you go. That's 54 years. And there you go. I told my age. But yeah, I've been a Wonder Woman fan forever. And I'm just like, 2 weeks from now is the Comic-Con. And so with like doing a little preview, I also have a McGonagall outfit that I put together, that I bought authentically of her green thing and stuff like that. And I also have 2 Star Trek outfits. So I'm just playing and see which one I'm comfortable with.
So for the run, did you actually dress as Wonder Woman for the run?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh my God, that would have been complicated, huh?
I would have loved to, but I was not at my house. So I was taking care of my mom for that time. So, and I had to do a mile walk, and I actually did a 2-mile walk, but I had to do that and do it virtually because I couldn't be in Virginia where they had this. But it was really cool. And like I said, I have a Wonder Woman room. I have 20 bags and purses and totes. And, I have all the action figures. I have posters. I have dolls, McDonald's, Burger King, Arby's, whoever had the toys.
50-year collection.
Yes, it is. It is.
And who's your favorite Wonder Woman that's ever played Wonder Woman?
Oh, played Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No, I like Gail. I like Gail. She portrays her really well, and even though because she is from Mediterranean herself, but she has the Mediterranean accent. So, but no, I collected the comic book before it was even on TV. So, yeah. So I love the stories and the mythology, and it goes with the Greek gods. So she's my favorite DC hero along with Wonder Girl, which really, that's how I got to be a Wonder Woman fan, because I was a Teen Titans fan back in the 60s.
I didn't even know Teen Titans was a thing back in the 60s.
Yeah.
'Cause I watched it in the 2000s.
Well, no, it wasn't a TV show. Well, there was the Aquaman Superman TV show hour on Saturday mornings, and Teen Titans was on that, and we started picking up the comic books after that. So, yeah.
Very cool. Learn something new every day. And what's your favorite Lord of the Rings movie?
Wow. My favorite, it'd probably be the Fellowship of the Ring, the first one.
The first one? Okay.
First one.
In high school, we read The Hobbit, so we watched that movie, but I fell asleep in class because I took the opportunity when I saw it.
I was in college at Michigan Tech, 1972, when I read The Hobbit. And then it's like, oh, there's more. Oh, Lord of the Rings. Okay, we're going to read that. And starting in 1974, they started making a Tolkien calendar. Well, I've got a complete run from then till now of all the calendars. Every year I get it. And it's just something I've been waiting for all these years, for them to make a movie and stuff like that. So it's kind of fun.
So you do prefer the books to the movies?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, who doesn't, right? Who doesn't?
I mean, I read.
Peter did such a great job. We had to go see the fellowship 3 times because after reading the books, we were so awed with the scenery. I mean, he did a great job with it. It just flooded memories of us reading the book, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We had to watch it again.
Took out the key parts, and he did a great job. It's hard to put it in from a book to a movie.
Right. So you've been a fan since the beginning.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've read it way back then and followed it and loved Dungeons and Dragons kind of stuff. Brought my kids up on that stuff, and yeah, all the way through.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thanks for talking to us, Julie and Dirk. And come on down. We'll be here till 6 o'clock.
It's a lot of fun. What are you waiting for?
Tell us, Peter, how's the day going?
Today's been great. We've had a great crowd. It's been wonderfully busy. We love a little controlled chaos on Free Comic Book Day. So I'm glad everybody came out, and it's been great.
What kind of comics are you guys giving away here?
So I believe there are 41 titles this year that we have. It literally goes all ages. So there's stuff for the young kids like, Spidey and Friends and Minecraft and Pokemon and stuff like that. And then there's your new Spider-Man stuff, your new Absolute, and then you got your mature titles for, the hardcore collectors and stuff too.
Tell us about some of the events that are going on today.
So let's see. Today we've got a bunch of our friends from around the community here. So we've got Time Blaster Toys here doing some stuff with their vintage toys. There's some free face painting. We've got All Ego Ethan Page from the WWE here signing. We've got a couple of the movie cars. I believe we got Ecto 1 and the RoboCop car. There's a cosplay contest through Motor City Comic Con. And Sylvan Learning Center's out here. We got, of course, the free books. And we are also raffling off a PS5.
Okay, now you guys have been doing Free Comic Book Day for quite some time now since you've been open. How does this affect your business throughout the rest of the year?
So, I mean, realistically, it sometimes brings us customers that we may not have had before. It gives people an excuse to walk in and take a look around and maybe see something they didn't see before. And then at the same time, you can get a brand new reader that maybe was on the fence about comics, and now we have a customer for life. So, it's great. It's all about, making customer. I mean, we want to give the customer something that they really want. And then, sometimes you give them something they didn't know they needed too.
Now, we see you have Motor City Comic Con here as one of your sponsors. So you guys are obviously going to be set up there.
We will.
So tell us a little bit about all that.
So Motor City Comic Con is 2 weekends away. It should be the 16th, 17th, 18th, I think, at Suburban in Novi. And, I believe we've got a couple booths getting ready to get set up there. And we'll be bringing comics and action figures and Funkos and graded stuff. I'll be offering witnessing for CGC. So if you have an artist or a celebrity you want to go see, you can come see me. And I'll go with you. We can witness it, get you a yellow label on the book. So you get that wonderful signature series. And it's great. It's another one of those fun services.
Peter, it was a pleasure speaking with you. We don't want to take up too much of your time because we know you're a busy guy.
Busy, but we love it.
And this is Mark at State of Comics on Free Comic Book Day.
Me again, and I'm here with my friend David, who is cosplaying as Box.
Hazbin Hotel. Hazbin Hotel.
Hazbin Hotel. Okay. So, did you make your cosplay?
It wasn't easy, but yes.
That is really cool. Did you make the outfit or just the head?
Oh, just the head. I am not that good at making outfits.
Not a seamstress. Not most of us aren't, so that's totally fair. You said this was a video game?
Oh, no, it's a indie animation.
Oh, cool. Where can we watch it?
Oh, Prime Video.
It's on Prime. Oh, cool. So not so indie anymore. How long have you been cosplaying?
Oh, I just started in November 2023.
Okay, so you're fairly new to the game. Have you made any other costumes, or is this your only one?
Oh, no, this is my first one.
Well, I'd be wearing the hell out of something I made too. It looks awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is this your first Free Comic Book Day?
Oh, yeah, and it's definitely not going to be my last.
Did you get your free comics yet?
Nope.
You're gonna have to before you leave. Is this your first time at State of Comics?
Oh, no.
You've been here.
I've been here like on the art festival days.
The ones in Plymouth?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, do you have any plans for future cosplay?
Oh, I'm heading to Motor City Comic Con this year.
That's gonna be awesome. We'll be there too, so we'll see you there, David.
Hey, you comic book geeks, sci-fi freaks, comic book Casey coming at you from Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi. We are live streaming right here in downtown Plymouth at State of Comics Comic Book Shop, and it is Free Comic Book Day. And I am here with one of the VIPs that is near and dear in our heart of the comic book community. This is Samantha Yankee. She is the operations manager for the Motor City Comic Con, MC3 to those of you that know. That is coming up in about 2 more weeks. So Sam, why don't you put them on point with MC3?
Well, do you want me to hold this? Okay, cool. I am so excited for this year. We've got Jeremy Renner coming. We've got Bill Nye as a millennial. And I mean, kids nowadays still watch Bill Nye. But Blue's Clues Trio is coming as well. Steve, the OG. He's actually going to be doing a costume photo op for charity. 100% of the proceeds are going to the Starlight Children's Fund, I believe. So he's donning the shirt once again. We've got a lot of great comic guests, cosplay contests, kids cosplay contest, Dungeons and Dragons, movie screenings. It's going to be legit.
Okay, and I'm going to let you hold that. I got some questions for you.
Okay, great.
Okay, so now Motor City Comic Con has been expanding and getting bigger and bigger each and every year. And now I got friends coming with their kids, and now I have to go outside of the convention to show them all the children's activities. So I'm getting a tour guide there now. But
great, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I love it because
Free.
it's for everybody. It's really family friendly, and it's for kids of all ages, from 1 all the way up into, 81.
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of people will bring carriages or like wagons and have their kids and then start loading it up with the stuff that they're buying and swap the kids for the collectibles.
Costumes.
Yeah.
And carriages are decorated up like a little Batmobile or something.
Uh-huh.
I've seen all of that.
Yeah, and the kids cosplay contest is adorable. It's actually, if you want to just watch the cosplay contest, you got to get there early because the room fills up.
It's entertaining.
Yeah, the kids strike a pose. It's great.
It is. And being a parent, my kids are grown now, but I used to love to get them ready for Halloween and everything. Okay. Yeah.
You hold it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, I used to, I know, right? So, like, weights. But, I used to get my kids ready for Halloween sometimes and everything. But so it's fun to watch other people doing it, the cosplay, because now it's taken off so much to where it's popular for adults. It's not so bad to see a grown man wearing spandex.
I mean, sometimes it is, but no, I'm just kidding.
No.
Everyone wears a costume or a T-shirt or a hat. Like, you don't even have to own anything nerdy. You will find stuff there. We have a lot of people that'll wear a cosplay and like be missing that one piece, and they'll find it at the show.
I'm glad you bring that up because I have friends that are diehard cosplayers, male and female. And one of their biggest problems with some of the Comic-Cons is they're not allowed to bring in their swords. Mm-hmm. And they make a good point. They say, but they're selling real swords there.
Yeah. So I don't think we have any vendors this year that are selling real swords. If you buy a sword, you would bring it straight to your car. We do have a really great security team that checks all the weapons that come in. We have a weapons check before you even enter the convention. And if it's not sharpened, usually it's allowed in, but our security team makes the judgment call on that.
How do they check the sharp swords from the dull ones? I missed that process.
I mean, I haven't personally seen it, but we've got some crazy security guards, so I'm pretty sure they'll just,
Some of those guys got beards. I wonder if they just try to see if it just shave themselves with it.
Yeah, they come back into the con and suddenly they're clean shaven. Yeah. Probably. That's a good suggestion.
Yeah, because because people have come to me like, hey, we want to bring our swords in and everything, and I'm like, I don't know how that works. I don't call the shots there. I know the guns that look too real for obvious reasons. Mm-hmm. You can't do that, but I get it. You want to look like a Viking or a barbarian or something. You want your actual item or weapon that comes with it, but.
Really, foam is the way to go. And honestly, it's lighter to carry around. Have you carried around a real sword before? Those things are heavy.
Yeah, I have a sword collection, actually. But they stay at home, though. I don't carry them around in public, okay? I'm not a total lunatic.
Yeah.
But no, they're around for show around the house. But so now also with Motor City Comic Con, what year are we in now?
Oof. think we're in 35. Yeah, big year, milestone year.
Yeah.
So it was founded in 1989, but I believe the first actual show was in 1990.
Okay, so yeah, I remember coming when it was only maybe, I don't know, 100 people in line.
Yeah.
You can actually get
Is
in.
it the Dearborn Center that you went to?
Went there first, but then when I moved to Novi, I'd be getting in within 5 or 10 minutes. Those days are long gone.
Yeah, no, you can't do that now.
You're waiting up out there with thousands of people.
Yeah, line wraps around the building.
Yeah, I missed the good old days, but I'm glad it's the way it is now because
Yeah.
it makes it. And then to actually be a vendor there and to be doing this, filming, live streaming, podcasting there, I never thought that was going to ever happen. But and you guys are our home show. This is home base for us. And every time we go to any other Comic-Con, we're always blasting out Motor City Comic-Con to the
As you
vendors.
should.
Yeah, we're trying to convince the vendors that whether we're in LA or Boston or Jersey or Florida, we're always telling them, you got to come to Motor City Comic-Con. If you're doing it here, do it there. And it's actually technically more economic friendly at Motor City than it is some of those other events. Not trying to say anything against them, but
Yeah, but I get it. I started out as an exhibitor. I did wood burning, so I have been to New Orleans and Seattle, and I've been all over. So I get it. Like the prices, depending on where you go, especially when they're in the city, they can be high.
well, yeah, because I'll ask them, what did you pay for this one? They tell me, I'm like, you got to come to Motor City. You'll get a better deal, So, and then plus it's just, a lot more of in my opinion, a lot more of a family-friendly atmosphere. Maybe I'm just saying that because it's home for me.
No, I think that was obvious when because I vended at Motor City before I started working for the show. So I think that was an obvious thing right away, this was family-friendly, and I'm just going to say it, like a spendier crowd. Like people come there expecting to find great handmade pieces, one-of-a-kind, like stuff from our retailers. The celebrity guests that we're bringing in are amazing. The comic guests are amazing. So I think people just come expecting an all-over better experience. And like you said, it just being family-friendly, just completely different than any other con.
Well, I'm just glad that finally, and I'm not going to take credit for this, but I've been asking for food trucks to be allowed at Motor City Comic-Con for years. I remember I was in Mr. Goldman's ear years ago saying, we got to have some other food here.
Other food options. I mean, believe me, I am there all weekend, so I also get it.
Yeah.
Food is important. We've got a lot of variety this year. We actually don't bring in the food trucks. It's the convention center, but we worked with them to make sure that they brought in a lot of really good options. We had some from last year that are returning, but we're also having Big B and Cinnabon there this year. I'm very excited for those two. And then Wild Bill's soda is going to be inside the convention center as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, a lot of options.
I like the fact that now you're also taking into consideration the vendors that are there setting up on Thursdays. You're providing food for us on Thursdays. We never had that.
Well, so they have come in like for an hour or two because they set up, like they put the trucks out there. But I was like, we have people there all day. Can we get somebody out there? And they offered us a lunch option. And I was like, they're going to be there late. Like people will be there all day. You should have a dinner option too. And they're like, well, if you think they're going to use it, I was like, I promise you, you will be busy.
Yeah, because when we're there setting up, even when we're done, we're kind of hanging out with our people. We're with our tribe. So we want to eat, we want to, have some time to sit and talk and catch up because we're seeing vendors that are coming from all over the country that haven't seen us all year.
Yeah.
And we're playing catch up. So we're done with our table set up. We're kind of hanging out because for as long as you guys allow us to.
Yeah. I mean, we are open, I think, until like 11 o'clock sometimes on that like first setup day. And there's also the fact that as you're setting up, you lose track of time and suddenly you're starving. So to then on top of that, have to go find a place that you're going to eat that you can all like a big group can sit together. Like it's a lot. So to just have the food truck right there and somebody go get food, bring it back. You guys all eat at the table. Yeah.
Well, plus too, when we're on setup day, here's one of my secrets. I start talking to the vendors that have cool stuff that I want to buy early on, just so by Sunday, they give me an even better deal, by Sunday because.
Yeah, I bet you were asking about this. Like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of plant a, bug in there and tell them, I really like this. So if it's here still Sunday, I might come back and get this.
Yeah.
So when they see me come back Sunday, if
I
they're,
still got it for you.
yeah, they still got it for me, especially if they're from out of state. They're just trying to sell their stuff. So, because,
I don't want to lug it back.
Exactly. And that's what I tell a lot of my friends and family. If you want to buy stuff, come Sunday. That's probably the best deal day. It's my little secret I'm sharing with the world right now that's watching. Sundays are the best deal day, but you want to be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But spend your money on Sunday. I would say come enjoy the show Friday and Saturday, but Sunday is the day to spend.
Yeah. I mean, definitely be reasonable with the vendors. Don't say like, oh, I'll take this for $5 when it's $100. Be fair. But yeah, that is when they want to get
Can barter a little.
Yeah, absolutely. There's more wiggle room.
Yeah, exactly.
Always got to give that disclaimer though.
Especially
some people take it a little too far.
Especially the vendors that are hand making this stuff.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
Time and effort and energy.
Yeah, I mean, bottom line is going to be maybe a little bit higher, but you got to take into effect that they are making this in their home and they are spending hours and hours on it.
That's the stuff I prefer personally. Is the more traditionally, I guess you could say, handmade original as opposed to manufactured high volume merchandise.
Yeah.
So I really take a lot of pride in showing people my collection around the house that I got from specific vendors at comic conventions that did it themselves.
Yeah, and we have a crafter section, which is going to be a little bit more of those like one-offs where, we've got a guy who makes wands from wood and antlers that are like local to Michigan. People who make dice themselves and dolls and like crochet stuff.
Yep.
So like there's a lot of options of like this is a actual one of a kind item.
Exactly. And it's worth more, I would think, eventually, because you might be one out of 3 or 4 people that have that. And I looked at the list. I think there's a couple vendors that we recommended from other states.
Oh, thank
I have
you.
to highlight that and show you who they are because
Please do.
that shows us that they listened and they trusted us.
Yeah.
So, but we always take pride when we have people that we interview from other conventions around the country, and we convince them to give this a shot to make the travel to Michigan, because if you live here in Michigan, it's a no-brainer. Motor City Comic Con is the home base. I've been meeting people here when we were setting up our podcast table that come to the store, shop regularly, that are now, since you guys have a presence here, saying, yeah, we haven't been there yet.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at them.
Yeah, I can't believe sometimes people haven't even heard about us. I mean, I do understand it's all my life, so.
Well, no, you know what? Some of the ones, I met 2 different families today. They heard, but they were afraid to take their kids because their kids were so young.
Yeah.
So it might be a dad that's a real total comic book geek, but he doesn't want to deal with lugging a baby around.
crowds.
But now their kids are older, they feel more comfortable. And I tried to explain to them, you could have taken them when they were still in a stroller.
Yeah,
Trust me.
Definitely the most family-friendly con that I've ever been to.
Yeah,
there
likewise.
are some that like maybe the aisles are a little smaller and tighter, so like the crowds really like have an effect on the family experience being in a group. But like when COVID came out, we had like much wider aisles, and we never went back to the very tight aisles. Like we brought it back a little bit. Like
Oh, it's much more spacious now because I remember those tight days.
it was a lot.
Yeah, it's much more spacious.
Even just being with your friends, like if you didn't have young kids, being with your friend, you get separated.
Yeah.
But yeah, now you can walk around with your group of friends.
Well, I have a large group of people on the team here, so it's usually anywhere from 10 to 21 of us. So we always needed the space. Otherwise, we're getting on each other's nerve, stepping on each other. But those days are over. So, but yeah. So, anything else you'd like to let everybody know before it comes?
Yeah, just come to Motor City Comic Con. If you're worried about going to Comic Con for the first time, this is definitely the one to start with. It's not just comic books, even though we have a great comic book presence. It's really just all pop culture, and the community is amazing.
Agreed. I can't say it any better than that, folks. You got to get out to MC3 2025 and 2026, 2027, all the way to the end of the millennia. You got to do MC3, okay? I'm going to be there even if I'm 99 years old with a cane and a long beard. I'm going to be there greeting you.
Hey everybody, it's Lolly Petty live with Comic Experience Sci-Fi, and here I have co-owner of State of Comics, Ashley. Hey Ashley, how you doing today?
Hey, how are you, Lolly? Nice
Good.
to be here.
Thank you for having us. So you guys have been here for 8 years,
Yes, ma'am.
and you did have a different location still in Plymouth before this, right?
It was actually next door. So we were next door. It was a little bit smaller than this, a lot a bit smaller than this. But we've been in this building since 2020.
Wow, okay. And have you done free comic book days since you've been open?
Every year.
That is so nice. So what is your favorite part about free comic book day?
I think my favorite part is how much like the community comes together and how many people show up, and it's just a lot of fun, a lot of excitement. We did it really big this year. We've got a lot more going on this year than normal, and it's just been a great time. It's good to see everybody.
Yeah, I think this is my first free comic book day.
Welcome.
Thank you. So what exactly do you do here at State of Comics?
So my role is I basically do whatever is needed to be done to help support my husband, of course. I put out the weekly comics every week. I merchandise throughout the store. I do a lot of the check-ins and putting the new stuff out. So very hands-on with the merchandising aspect. So that's my strong suit.
Cool, cool. And what is your goal for State of Comics?
I think our goal is to be the go-to place for the community, for people to just have fun. There's something here for everybody. And something that's my husband's very passionate about is just getting people to read. Even if that means that it's kids coming in and reading comic books, I think that that's a great start to introduce people into reading. So just being that go-to spot in the community for people to have fun and read.
Cool.
And everything else that we have here,
Yeah. Gotta ask, what's your favorite comic book?
Probably 8 Billion Genies. That was a really good series, that I thoroughly enjoyed and couldn't put down and was excited every time that a new issue came out. So I would say that's my go-to.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I've noticed you guys have like your own little mini arcade here. I see some pinball.
Yeah.
You got some other games. What's your favorite game to play?
I am a gambling lady at heart when it comes to the claw machines. Okay. I will play them and play them and play them until I finally win something. So they get their money's worth from me for sure.
You're just investing in the business.
Yeah, absolutely.
How did you guys start this State of Comics? Like, where did this come from for you?
Okay, so it actually didn't start with comics, believe it or not. I started buying my husband Funko Pops, like when they first came out I guess they didn't first come out, but anyway, I bought him a bunch that we thought were really cool. We got into the idea of collecting them. And then we were like down chasing like the, chases and all the exclusive ones. So it became kind of like this fun game for us. And then we quickly realized how popular they were getting and how quickly you could flip them and stuff. So it turned into kind of like a quick little hobby. And then we ended up somehow with nearly 300 of them at home. And then we just decided to start selling those. We sold online for the first few months. And then once we stacked up some cash from doing that, we birthed the comic book store. So it evolved from Funko back to his love for comics from when he was a child, and here we are. And I'll just keep growing and growing.
Wow, that's so cool. And they still have a wall of Funko Pops here. I only have one Funko Pop. It's John Waters. He comes with bags under his eyes and a flamingo. He's so cool. So what else can you tell? What can you tell us about the snacks you got up there?
Okay, so we actually recently. They've been here since the summer. I'm sorry, I don't remember the date, but we have partnered with some really good friends that were actually customers first. They're a cookie company called That Cookie Store. They're incredible. They have 3 cookies that they keep on the menu always, and then they have 2 that they rotate flavors every week. So it's kind of fun. You come in every week and there's a new flavor for you to try. They're incredible. It's a dangerous partnership because it's hard to get through a day without wanting a cookie when you're here, but they're absolutely delicious. So if you guys ever stop in, you need to check them out for sure.
And do they have their own store, or is this it for them?
This is it for them. So they sublease that front area, and it's just been a really good partnership. We've had a lot of fun with them.
That is so cool. So you don't mind if people walk around eating their cookies, or do they got to stay up front?
They can walk around with them. Just, be respectful.
Careful. You don't need to get any chocolate on the comics. Okay.
Yeah, right. And entice us to have to go get another one.
Well, Ashley, it's been great talking to you. Is there anything else you wanted to tell our viewers?
Just come on out. Enjoy the great time that we're having today. If you can't get here today, definitely come in the future and make sure you say hello and introduce yourself because we love meeting new people. And thank you for having us. Thank you for being here.
We'll be here till 6. So come on out, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So nice to meet you guys.
Too.
Hey, comic book geeks, Comic Book Casey still live streaming from State of Comics in downtown Plymouth. And we stumbled upon someone that really, really is near and dear to my heart. I just met him a few minutes ago, but he told me he's been watching Comic Experience Sci-Fi for 9 years. Mind you, those of you who don't know, we started this journey in 2014. Last year, 2024, was our 10-year anniversary. And Brandon, my new friend, my new favorite person, basically touched my heart by telling me how long he's been watching and following us. So, Brandon, why don't you tell us a little something about yourself, and you can tell us about your interest in Star Trek and Star Wars, and you and I debate a little bit about some of that.
Yes. Star Trek was my personal favorite franchise because my mother got me into the franchise when I was a little boy. And she used to watch it on WKBD Television 50 when they were affiliated with United Paramount Network, UPN. And every time I think of The Next Generation, I think of Detroit, Michigan. That's why it's considered one of my personal favorites.
Yeah, because of the station, it being a local and playing the show that you.
Oh yeah, it used to come on in the 90s, and Captain Picard and his crew was my television family, and that's how I got into it. Star Wars, I heard great things about it. My late uncle, got me into Star Wars, and he got me into the rest of science fiction. And he used to watch like the Twilight Zone, the Sci-Fi Channel. He used to watch like everything related, and that's how he got me into both Star Wars and the rest of science fiction.
Okay, so now those are the TV shows, but now how did you get drawn into comic books?
My uncle was a comic book person, and he used to have like a whole collection of comics in his bedroom. And he would read Superman, Batman, DC, Marvel, and that was about it.
What's your favorite comic book series, or you have a favorite comic book brand or company?
IDW. And IDW, they make the Star Wars comics. And I mean, not the Star Wars, the Star Trek comics. And I get interested in reading them because I like to indulge myself into the internal diegetic world of Star Wars and Star Trek. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, the United Federation of Planets was established in the Earth year 2161 after the Earth-Romulan War. The Galactic Republic, the core worlds, the inner rim worlds, the outer rim. Core worlds were populated by the rich and the wealthy individuals, while the outer rim was populated by, fugitives and criminals. And it was like what they call a hiding spot for criminals that were wanted individuals by both the Galactic Republic and the Galactic Empire.
Okay, so now do you have a particular favorite comic book shop outside of coming to State of Comics? Where do you normally do most of your shopping?
I'm not a shopping person, but I normally go to Comic City where I get all the comics. But primarily, I like to listen to audiobooks, like on Audible or Apple Books. Okay. And mostly I like to listen to Star Trek and Star Wars novels. I've listened to the Star Wars book involving where Anakin and Obi-Wan were on a mission to rescue a Republic officer that had went missing. I listened to Alien. There was 2 Alien novels that I have listened to. I love Alien with Sigourney Weaver. I've listened to Alien Out of the Shadows, which takes place over 20 years after the events of the movie Alien, where Ripley wakes up as the ship arrives at the starship Marion when it was orbiting around the planet. When it was stripping the planet.
You're strictly more sci-fi, more so than superhero and villain, you would say?
I'm strictly more sci-fi, yes. And
I told you we're going to debate because I'm more of a Star Wars guy than a Star Trek guy. No offense, but okay. Because when you told me Star Trek Next Generation, I instantly thought of my ex-wife. And I'm like, okay, can I be friends with this guy? And then when you and I talk more, I say, okay, I'm gonna be friends with this guy despite it.
I love Star Wars. I love it. I only like the original trilogy because of the New Republic and the Rebel Alliance, because the Rebel Alliance and the New Republic represent diversity. And from my point of view, they remind me of the Federation from Star Trek.
And you know what? I do have a strong respect for the Star Trek generation because Gene Roddenberry, the creator of the whole Star Trek genre, was ahead of his time. And I like the fact that what he did was he showed that people from all walks of life, all race, all color, all creed, any nation, whether it was Earth or alien, could work together as one unit on I I guess you could say, mission of peace and understanding.
Yes, it was like that. And then they had a show that went deep and beyond Gene Roddenberry, and it was called Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And it was such a great show because it had Benjamin Sisko, who was a black character. And this show, if Gene Roddenberry was alive, he would have been very happy.
Well, that was Avery Brooks. For those of you who didn't know, and Avery Brooks is a highly renowned actor, best known for playing his role Hawk in Spencer for Hire, which later he got a spinoff show of his own for a couple seasons. So that was definitely an accomplishment to see that. And we always see the diversity, too, of female captains of starships that are aliens. So, again, I go back to the fact that I really like what Gene Roddenberry's whole objective was. And did you manage to go to the Star Trek exhibit at Henry Ford Museum at Greenfield Village?
No, I didn't, but I went to the exhibition in 2009 with my uncle. It was at the Michigan Science Center. Before that, it was called the Detroit Science Center. And at that time, they had the Star Trek exhibition. And my favorite part about it was the Star Trek timeline. And the timeline had some serious material that I took very serious. When I was back on Deep Space Nine, it was such a good show because, to me, the Dominion War stole the spotlight. And it was more like World War II in outer space, where you had like all the political states in the galaxy was uniting as one, fighting
like NATO.
Yeah, like NATO, but I'm saying like you had like the Federation and the Klingons for decades. They had a conflict with each other, and then you had the Romulans, and then by the time Starfleet explored the Gamma Quadrant and they came across the Dominion, that was where all the interstellar powers set their differences aside.
So I would have to assume, since you've watched Comic Experience Sci-Fi for 9 years, your favorite episode has to be our Star Trek episode.
Yes, it's one of my personal favorite franchises because I think of my mom and I think of Detroit, Michigan.
As far as watching Comic Experience Sci-Fi, what drew you into watching for 9 years? What got you to keep tuning in?
Science fiction.
The sci-fi part.
And see,
certainly wasn't the beer, right?
No, it was not the beer. It was, I'm a sci-fi person and I like to get indulged into the material. The only thing about science fiction is, like, if you look at Deep Space Nine, in the show's diegetic story arc, you had like the Bajoran Cardassian story arc, which was, well, I'm not going to go all into it, but it's really good. And it was such a powerful show that drew the messages of what is going on. I was watching this digital network called Decades, which is now Catchy Comedy. And they used to do this program called Through the Decades, and they were celebrating LGBT Pride Month. And they showed an episode of Deep Space Nine called Rejoin, because the episode was controversial because it featured the first same-sex kiss scene. And people made a big deal about it. But Deep Space Nine went into that direction of targeting real-life subjects. Fast forward from 1995 today, we do have a same-sex kiss scene.
Well, too, it brings us back to the original interracial kiss scene, which was Star Trek, with William Shatner as Captain Kirk and Nichelle Nicholas as Lieutenant O'Hara. That was the very first TV series interracial kiss scene in television history. So Star Trek, we can safely say, has been a groundbreaking TV show, which has obviously evolved into movies and spin-off shows and additional characters. So I guess you have a deep appreciation for what Star Trek has meant to your life and what it has done for other people's lives. And we definitely appreciate you coming out, supporting State of Comics Free Comic Book Day. And I'm sure you're going to be looking for some sci-fi Star Trek books, maybe?
I might. You know, mostly I like to listen to the audiobooks. Okay. And audiobooks, they're a lot better. And I go on YouTube looking at audio comics. Because, see, you know, when you like read a comic book, you see like the pages and stuff. But I prefer if you like look at the audio comics. Right. And the audio comics gives you the idea of what's going on in the plot.
So you probably watch a lot of the YouTube comic book narratives. I do that. That's my bedtime story. So I will watch the YouTube narratives where they're going page by page and someone is acting out the characters' expressions and their words. So I usually go to bed on that type of stuff. So I'm still like a big kid listening to a bedtime story when I have that blasting on my TV in my room. So I totally get it, man. But look, man, we definitely appreciate you taking time to talk with us, and we want you to enjoy yourself and do some shopping.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey, Jeffrey, how's your free comic book day?
It's going really great, by the way.
Cool. Did you get your free comics yet?
Not yet.
It's a long line. The line is wrapped around the building, so people are really here for the comic books. So you're cosplaying as Indiana Jones. How much of this outfit did you create or put together yourself?
I usually just do online orders. I don't usually just make some by handmade, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, they're pretty much clothes. You buy clothes online, and then you put it together, and that's what makes the costume. Yeah. I see you got your whip. Does it work?
I haven't really tested a lot lately, so I can't really.
No, that's totally fair. Does it unwind?
Yes, it does.
Okay, that's cool. So do you come to State of Comics often, or is this your first time?
This is my first time here.
Cool. Okay, that's awesome. So you're not from the area?
Not really.
You traveled to get here. That's very cool. We all kind of came from different places today.
Well, I'm not exactly from Plymouth, but I live close to Plymouth.
Okay. So semi-local. Do you do any other cosplays besides Indiana Jones?
I do cosplay one other character. His name is Nathan Drake from the Uncharted games.
Okay, I don't think I've heard of that one, but it sounds pretty cool. Is that another thing where you just kind of order the stuff online and put it together?
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's cool. How long have you been cosplaying?
About 3.5 years, I think.
Oh, cool. So you're pretty new to the game, huh? Do you do any conventions and stuff like that?
I've only done Motor City Comic Con. That's the only one I've done.
Are you going to be there?
You bet I am.
Yeah, we will be too. So I guess we'll see you at Motor City Comic Con. Thanks for the interview, Jeffrey. You have a lovely free comic book day. We're here till 6. Are you going to be here all day?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. So make sure you get your free comic books.
One last thing. Keep the snakes away from me.
That's it for this episode of the Comics Beer and Sci-Fi Podcast. Thank you for listening, and we hope you'll join us next time.